Hello and welcome to this lesson. Remember, our previous topic was on the rule of law.
Now, in this lesson, you're going to be learning about
Fundamental human rights.
the objectives for this lesson are you should be able to know the meaning of human rights, the origin of human rights, the types of human rights, and the protection of human rights. In the course of this lesson, there are 4 evaluation questions for you to answer. What are human rights? Human rights are generally the entitlement to treatment that a person enjoys simply by virtue of being a human being. It is also the claim of a human being recognized by society generally. Now let us talk about the origin of human rights. The first here we have is the natural right theory. Now, scholars in this school of thought argue that individuals had certain rights even before the state came into being. This has to do with nature. The next we have is the legal theory of rights. When we talk about the legal theory of rights, people in this theory argued that human rights are a creation of the law of the state and that only the state can serve as the source of human rights. Now, it is also argued that whatever the state accords the subject constitutes their right. Interesting. Next we have is historical theory of right. So still, I want to talk about historical theory of right. It assumes that rights are the creation of time, history, that they are based on long established usages and customs. Now, this is therefore argued that the rights which the people think they ought to have are just those rights which they have been accustomed to. We also have the social welfare theory of rights. When we talk about the social welfare theory of rights, the theory believes that rights are the creation of society, inasmuch as they are based on the consideration of common welfare. The main argument of this theory is that rights make what is conducive to the greatest good of the greatest number, that they are the condition for social good. Now, students, let's talk about the types of rights. Can you mention the types of rights that we have? Did I hear somebody say civil rights? Yes, I want to talk about the civil right. It consists of the personal freedom, personal security, personal property, religion, speech and expression, formation of unions, movement throughout the country. We also have the political right. These are rights to vote during elections, contest elections, form political parties, hold public meetings, criticize and effect a change of government. Do you understand, students? The next we have is economic rights. These include the right to work, rest and leisure, form trade unions, carry on some profession or trade, avail oneself of social insurance, have gainful employment and adequate wage, enjoy partnership status in the control of industry. And we also have other rights like the right to be treated equally and be on equal position with others in the areas of legal protection, justice, taxation, appointments to important offices of the state. And we also have the right to education, public assistance, public employment. Now, students, let us talk about the protection of human rights. Now, it is one thing to protect for human rights, but it is a different thing for their protection by the states. Now, in Nigeria, the following are designed to ensure that human rights are not violated. The first way of protecting human rights is by putting human rights in the Constitution. The various constitutions, like the 1960, 1963, 1979, 1989, and the 1999 constitutions, had encoded in them provisions for human rights. You can also protect human rights through establishment of law courts. And the government provides for law courts to hear and determine complaints on human rights violation. You can also protect human rights through law enforcement agents. As part of the role of maintaining peace and order in a state, government established the police, the military, and other paramilitary organizations to protect people from inhuman treatment at the hands of individuals who may want to deny others their human rights. We also have provision of public enlightenment and public education on human rights. So there is need for government through the mass media organizations to embark on constant education of the masses in respect of their rights and obligations to the country. They are constantly told of what they should do when their rights are violated. And lastly, formation of non-governmental organizations can also help to protect human rights. In Nigeria, many human rights organizations are run privately by members of the public. They are formed to protect and champion the interests of the poor.
Now, this is the end of our lesson. Until next time, and bye.